What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush, Let's Talk Jets. Hope everybody's having an excellent week. As most of you know by now, I've been training for a marathon, which is also a fundraiser to help support our veterans and raise mental health awareness. That marathon actually has happened this past weekend, April 13th. So this is kind of a recap video of my entire journey. But I guess first and foremost, the most important thing is I was able to raise $4,800 for our veterans, which is just remarkable. And I cannot thank everybody enough for your donations, your support, your words of encouragement, the emails, direct messages, man. It helped a lot because this was a very challenging experience as I'm not a trained runner. I never ran more than 13 miles before. I never ran more than 4 times in a week before. So I had a lot to learn. And this whole process started by, I always kicked around the idea. It's like, I wonder what it's like to run a marathon. And a friend of mine is like, you find out, you sign up for one. A lot of times in life, we kick ideas around, I should do this or I should do that, and we never do it. He's like, find a date, make it reasonable, sign up for it, and no turning back. It's exactly what I did. And when you spend $175, you spend that kind of money on something like, I'm in. So first thing is you commit to it. Second thing is you commit to the process. And that is really important in life and with marathon training where, you got to work on your diet, your hydration, getting proper sleep, wearing the proper attire, finding the right sneakers, finding what you're comfortable in. You got to deal with a variety of different weathers. I was dealing, frozen, freezing rain, snow, ice, all kinds of stuff, wind, and you got to adjust to all of that. So overall, the experience was 16 weeks. Started out good. When you first sign up for something, you're always excited. First couple weeks, you have all the energy, the passion, and it's just you're cruising along. And then you're going to deal with adversity and different challenges that you have to come, mental and physical, you have to overcome. And mine first came where I was trying out different sneakers, and I've been addicted to YouTube reaction videos where they react to different sneakers. I found a pair I thought I would like, these racing sneakers, which they were great. They were super fast, but they weren't very stable. So I'm a heavier dude, so it's probably made for a lighter person. It wasn't very stable, and I tweaked my hamstring. This is back in February, and as part of my process, I had to run a half marathon to gauge my time and see where I was at. And I was like, well, how am I going to do that now? Now you're frustrated. Like, well, this is a setback. And, I have the competitive spirit inside me where I can't half do things. Like if I'm running a race and I see somebody in front of me, I want to pass them. So now I have a tweaked hamstring. Now I had to cater my training a little more elliptical. Don't do as much speed. Don't do that. The half marathon comes and I'm like, all right, well, the goal was, as long as I've been running, I've always wanted to do a half marathon in less than 2 hours. And now it's like you have an injury, but you've been training, so you feel a lot better. And the weather was crazy. It was snow and ice. It was wild. And you're in your head, you just don't know how to handle it. But lo and behold, the training paid off. I did it less than 2 hours, which I was psyched about. And now I was like, okay, this training's working off. We're making a lot of progress. There was still a couple months to go. So now the build up to the longer runs was coming up. And I was feeling great. My diet was on point. I lost a lot of weight. I was feeling good. But unfortunately, as the life, things happen and things pop up. And as I got to the deeper miles, I did a 15-mile run. I felt good. I did an 18-mile run for the first time, and I felt really comfortable. I was getting a lot of confidence. I can actually do this. I can complete the marathon and maybe get a time that I really wanted, which to me was, as a first timer, I wanted to get 4 hours and 30 minutes. That was what I thought was reasonable. So 18 miles felt good. Unfortunately, things happened in my personal life, which completely disrupted my schedule where I wasn't getting sleep. My diet was a little bit off. And then when that all comes into play, my schedule was all wacky. Your training starts to suffer, but you keep pushing yourself to new limits. And my first challenge came, my 20-mile run, where I hit mile 14 and I was just a mess. My paces were good and I just fell off. I was gassing out. I was cramping. I couldn't do things. The wind was kicking my ass, and I'm like, oh, this is not good. Psychologically, it's kind of messing with you now. Where you're like, this is going to be a problem, So I come back, I'm discouraged. I just overall just didn't feel good. The following week, I had to do 21 miles, and for that, it was even worse. Where I had a good 14, 15 miles, and then it was like I hit this wall where my body was my nutrition and everything was just off. I was shaking. I thought I was going to throw up. I got completely lightheaded and dizzy, and I'm like, well, this is just a disaster. I'm never going to be able to do this marathon. I was ready to give up. Completely mail it in. So you come back, and you're like, well, I have 3 weeks left to figure this out. I can either mail it in or try to hopefully figure this out and try to overcome this adversity. And it took a lot, man. It took a lot to really bounce back. I had to, just realize, the things that happen in your personal life, some things are out of your control. When you have an overwhelming amount of stress, it can consume you, and you got to figure out ways to handle it. I was also training 2 fighters for a fight. They're fighting this Saturday night, and they're going to do great. But it was so many things going on. I'm like, my training is suffering, and I don't know how to bounce back out of this and eliminate that fear and anxiety of trying to attempt this marathon. So the last couple of weeks before the marathon, my training was good. I tried my best I could to clean up my diet, fix my hydration, got like acupuncture, different things, trying to do the best I could to be in a position to succeed. The marathon weekend comes, and you're excited, and you also feel pressure because you're doing a fundraiser that everybody knows about. It means on this channel, it's all my social media, so everybody knows you're doing it. So you don't want to embarrass yourself, and you want to do well because you have just pride in yourself. It's something you've tasked yourself with. You want to present yourself well, right? Marathon weekend comes. The Saturday night you go before, you have to pick up your bib and you go to this big party. It's like a big celebration. And on this digital board, there was the path, the marathon, the course. So they show the Jersey City, like the big loop. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, all right, I can do this. Unfortunately, that was only the half marathon. Then came the big second loop, and I'm like, holy shit. That's like, then reality set, like, dude, this is real now. Like, this is 26 miles. This is not going to be easy. This is what you signed up for. And the anxiety got the best of me. I was freaking out. I told my girlfriend, I'm like, we got to get out of here. I'll go back to the hotel. Like, I was a complete disaster. My stomach was in knots. I was getting all upset. And I'm like, oh, this is, like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I can't believe this. I just want to go home. Like, I'm in over my head. Race morning, same thing. Very nervous, very anxious. And in the back of your head, while you're having all these different emotions, you're worried about your hydration and nutrition because your body, you want to use all your glycogen. You want to use all your energy in you. And I was worried it all departed my body over my night of just nerves. But in the back of my head, I'm like, you know what? There's no turning back now. We committed to this. We're going to do the best we can. If it doesn't work out, we walk or we do whatever. But like, I was committed to finishing it. So I'm like mile by mile, just get to mile 1, get to mile 2, get to mile 3. I was prepared, like nutrition wise. I had my gels. I had the regular gels, I had the caffeine gels. You did all these different things. So there was a pacer, there's a pacer that you can follow as you run. So again, my goal was 4 hours and 30 minutes. I was with the pacer, and as you go along, I got confidence. Like, you know what? I'm cruising along. I'm keeping my pace. I wasn't tired. I felt good. And you know that at some point you're going to face adversity in this. They say between mile 18 and mile 22, you're going to hit that wall. I was cruising along. I was one of, my pacer, I was one of the last ones that stayed with him till mile 21. And then at mile 22, I hit that wall, and it was insane, man, where my calves were tight, my quads were tight, your hamstrings hurt. You're like, what do I do now? You're like, all right, I'm going to try to walk. I'm going to slow down. And in the back of your mind, when you're walking, you're not going to get your time. But at the same time, like, all right, I've gotten this far. It's only 4 more miles. Like, it's only another 40 minutes, 45 minutes. You've gotten this far. And while you're doing that, you see, like, the running community is really cool. There's a lot of people supporting you and helping you, but you also see a lot of other people doing the same thing. They're cramping up. I saw one gentleman, I saw him kind of fading. He was kind of like wobbling a bit. He trips over a rock. He hits the rock. He busts his head open. He lands on the ground, cuts up. He's all bleeding and stuff. And like, there was the Jersey City Marathon. They do a really good job of having a lot of support around, medical people, police. So they quickly gave him help. And he's like, no, I want to finish this race. They're like, listen, we got to get you patched up first. We make sure you have no concussion. And then you move on. You see people like throwing up and all kinds of stuff. Because it's really, really challenging. The last 4 miles, the wind picked up. So it was like, there's a lot of things going against you. Plus your fatigue and everything else. So I hit that wall. And you're just like, you got to find a way. Like, I got to find a way to finish this. Because you're so close. Like, if it happens at mile 10, you got 16 more miles to go. You're like, all right. But no, you're 4 miles away, 3 miles away. Luckily, there was a electrolyte station right there. Gatorade water had that. Took another gel. And slowly you find your way, just picking up more speed. Getting back in, getting back out. Just picking it up. And the best thing about the Jersey City Marathon is there's a tremendous amount of people, spectators, that cheer you on throughout the entire event. And you got the last mile. I took my headphones out because you can hear the crowd just going crazy. And they want to see you succeed. They want to see you make this milestone achievement. So the last mile, you pick it up, and you're like, you know what, I can do this. And your body, strangely enough, as bad as I felt, My last mile is probably one of my faster ones of my last 5, where you get that boost of energy. You have that jolt of adrenaline, and all that soreness of things you have in you kind of subsides for that moment, and you overcome it. And I was almost not a sprint, but I had a pretty good pace my last like quarter mile, which is pretty wild. And I was able to finish it. And it was a wild feeling, something I never thought I could do in my life. I thought for myself it was impossible, but it shows if you fully commit to it and you do the best you can, and you're gonna face adversity and you don't give up on yourself. Things are gonna happen. Like I blew my diet, I wasn't getting sleep, I was drinking too much coffee, all this stuff. It's like, okay, I made mistakes. I had to pay for them, but everything's correctable. I couldn't sit and dwell on it because I didn't have time to dwell on it. I had 2 weeks. If I sit here and just hate myself for it and make it spiral out of control, it would have been even worse. I didn't do that. I just stayed with the plan and said, you know what? No matter how this goes down, I'm finishing this. If I have to walk, I walk. I know that the course, I think it was a 6.5 hour time limit, that if anything over that, you get a did not finish, and you don't get a medal or anything else. I'm like, well, listen, I'm not gonna get that. I promised myself, I'm like, I will get before that, but I gotta finish it. And thankfully I did. I was 10 minutes off my pace that I wanted to get, but overall it was awesome, a great feeling. And I can't thank everybody enough. Obviously my girlfriend, who was my strength when I was having all kinds of crazy anxiety and I was out of my mind nervous. A friend of mine helped coach me through this, gave me a training plan, and was ridiculously patient with me because I was just going through every emotion. The windy days I ran like shit, going through the rain, not getting the results I wanted, feeling all these things. He was so patient, like, listen, man, you're gonna get there. The hard work is gonna pay off. You just gotta believe in yourself and believe in the process. We'll get there. So to me, it was an incredible experience, most importantly, to help the veterans and raise awareness for mental health, but to conquer this, something I never thought I could do in terms of marathon. And then to see the excitement of all the things, and even the people that were behind me, it was like, that were, at some point you slow down. I even told the one guy, like, he was ahead of me pretty much the entire race. He cramped up, and the last like mile and a half, I'm like, listen, dude, you've been beating me all day. Don't let me beat you now. We just find a way to get ahead of me and finish this out. And he did. Like, it was all together, and the overall experience, you walked away from it just proud of yourself and proud to see everybody else be supportive of one another, whether you're a spectator, the cops, the medics, everybody else. It was such a cool environment. So it was awesome. I think going into this, I said I'll never do it again, and I lied, because now I will definitely do another marathon. Not sure when, but I definitely want to improve on that. And I learned a lot too. And that's the other thing we got to remember when we do whatever it is we do, whatever you want to compete in or do some other things. It's lessons learned. Even if when you do well, like with the half marathon where I got time that I was really happy with, there's ways to even improve that. Like, don't get complacent and think you've accomplished it. Keep challenging yourself to new things, new goals, new accomplishments, and it'll make you thrive and be more productive. So I kind of rambled a little bit. Just want to give kind of a recap. Thank you so much if you watched to this far. Thank you for all the support. Sorry I haven't been doing more jet content. I've been so busy with this emotional roller coaster ride, the marathon training. Like I said, I have 2 fighters fighting Saturday night, and just life, man. Life and work gets in the way sometimes. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.